All right, since it's 7:05, we're going to go ahead and get started. I am going to be recording today, so if you don't want to be recorded on your face, make sure your video is turned off. And I'm going to introduce Taney Kurth, who is a professor at the University of Iowa, teaching in the business writing department. And it's all you, Taney.
Okay, so yes, as Alexa said, I have taught classes at the University of Iowa. I have taught nonfiction writing and I've taught business writing. And today we are going to be talking about cover letters. So the very first thing is, of course, to sort of ask ourselves, what is a cover letter? What is it supposed to do? What is its purpose? And more than anything else, everything flows from this. A cover letter is meant to get someone to look at your resume. Everything falls under that umbrella. By the way, Wynn, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Just interrupt me anytime. A lot of this first bit is going to be like lecture-y, but like if you have a question, please stop me and just ask your question. Okay, it's not a problem. Yeah. You raised your hand. Do you have a question? Go ahead. No?
No, sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yes, all a cover letter has to do is get someone to look at your resume. And when someone looks at your resume, they're more likely to offer you a job interview. And if they offer you a job interview, you're more likely to get a job. But it all starts with that first document. It starts with a cover letter. And so we're going to look at some boring but necessary sort of formatting rules. And then we'll get into sort of the nitty-gritty of how you put together a cover letter, what it should look like, what it should have in it. So let's get into that. Some of the formatting rules. First, always start with a header. You have today's date. You have the name and address of the business that you're applying to. You have half-inch margins, nothing bigger or smaller. Font should be no smaller than 10 point. Anything smaller than that is just impossible to read. Just like a resume, it should be one page only. A little counterintuitively, it should be single-spaced only with 2 spaces between paragraphs. So we'll see what that looks like when we look at some examples. Now, the basic shape of the thing will vary across disciplines, across industries. This is very basic for what it should look like, what it should contain. But it should start with your header, followed by a salutation. And when you're putting together your cover letter, you should do some basic research. You should look into the place you're applying for and see if you can find the name of a hiring manager. Because if you have a specific name, that shows right off the bat that you've put in some extra effort. It shows that you've done some research, and that is more impressive than someone who just puts right at the beginning, "to whom it may concern," or "dear hiring manager," or whatever. Those are fine. They're just a little cold. So salutation, a specific name if you can find one. And your first paragraph should be fairly easy. You start with, I am applying for whatever position, and you come up with some kind of thesis statement about why you fit the job description. Your second paragraph, this is going to be the meat of your cover letter. This is where you come up with some kind of story about your skills or your career, and how you have acquired your skills. And we'll talk about that in a second. And paragraph 3, it's another easy paragraph. That's your closing. You end with some kind of thank you for your time. You give your contact details, and you very politely ask for an interview. So let's break down. So once again, writing to apply for whatever position. You can say, I learned about this position from your website or whatever. Something like this is not necessarily mandatory. It's just nice for them to know. With your thesis statement, which should usually come at the end of that first paragraph, it should address why you are applying for that specific position. And if you can, it should also get into like what you bring to the table that others might not bring to the table. And we'll look at some good examples and some bad examples and break those down. Now, the second paragraph, you should tell a story about your experiences or your career. This is the hardest part, I think, when writing a cover letter. By far the easiest thing to do is to just write your resume in paragraph form. That's so many times that's what students will hand in to me. And I have to tell them, no, this is not good. This is just your resume in sentences. And it's a little hard to get it into their heads that you need a narrative. And I cleared this with Alexis. She said it was okay if I used her story as an example. So imagine, as just a thought experiment, if Alexis were applying for adult services coordinator job somewhere else other than Solon, God forbid. And in her cover letter where she applied for that job, she might go into how she actually started in public education. She started as a school teacher in third and fourth grade. And there were aspects about the job that she loved. And there were also many aspects about the job that were utterly exhausting and that drove her away. And then she tried her hand at private education, and she found it was a similar deal. There were things she loved, but also things that were not for her. And so she took another lateral move, finally into library work. And this is where she finds herself now. And it has many of the benefits of education work with few of the drawbacks. And so that would be sort of the narrative she constructs in a second paragraph of a cover letter. And within a brief narrative like that, she could describe how she gained the skills that she has, namely through her education as an LED, and also through her experience teaching inner city kids in Las Vegas. And so, yeah, that's how you create a narrative for yourself. And this is important because it's not something you can do in a resume. This is what a cover letter is for. It's to tell your story. It's to construct your narrative about yourself. because you can't do that with a resume. Your resume is just data about yourself. Cover letter can be a little more compelling. It can have a little more voice to it. So finally, the third paragraph. Here you want to, if you can, sort of summarize or restate your thesis. Again, leave your contact info, your phone number or email, good times to contact you. Ask for an interview very politely and say thank you for your time and sincerely your name. Super easy stuff, right? Okay. Questions so far, Win? We good? Okay. All right. Good. Yep. So to summarize, cover letter do's. Do have a thesis statement for yourself. You want to come in, open up with some confidence. You want to make pronouncements about yourself. And by make pronouncements, I mean project confidence. I am good for this position because. Again, you want to have a narrative. You want to tell a story about yourself. And you want to get as specific as you can. Again, it's only a page, but that's still a pretty good amount of room to get specific. This is the single most common thing I find myself telling my students over and over and over. I have to tell them, please get more specific about this. Don't just say you have good communication skills. Tell me how you got those good communication skills, right? Get specific. Always talk about what you bring to the job. And again, do some research, show some genuine interest in the place you're applying for. Always have a header, always, always. That's a surprisingly common one I have to tell my students too. Blows my mind. Okay, cover letter don'ts. Again, do not just write your resume in sentence form. This is a good way to just get ignored. When you have a compelling narrative, that's a good way to stand out. The super generic ones are the ones that just write the resumes in cover letter form, and no one remembers those. Don't just speak in generalities. Again, get specific. Specifics are memorable. Don't use weak language like I feel, I think I would, I believe, I am interested in applying. No, just say, I am applying for this position. And don't, this is very important, don't ever, ever talk about what the job can do for you. That is a huge turnoff for every employer because they just don't care. They want to know what you can do for them, not the other way around. Okay? And finally, a direct question for you, Wynn. How many cover letters should you have? What do you think?
I think I should have a cover letter for each job I apply to.
Absolutely, yeah. Different cover letter for every job you apply for. I was job searching a couple of years ago, and I sent out many applications. I sent out I think 118 applications, and I ended up with 118 cover letters. It was a lot. It was a lot. Okay, so that is my spiel done. And I have many examples. I have like 21 examples to look at. What concerns about cover letters do you have, Wynn? What can we address? Where do we start?
I think the second paragraph, like about narrative, I think it's hard.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find one that's got a good story.
Just zoomed in on your camera and we're looking like up your nose.
Okay. I zoomed in on my camera.
Yeah, you just unzoomed.
Weird. Okay. So let's look at this one then. I'll just read it out loud. To whom it may concern, my name is Lindsay McGinnis. I believe I would be a great asset to the Fenton family and dental assisting team. I am a pre-dental senior at the University of Iowa, completing a degree in enterprise leadership. I offer relevant experience in other dental offices, a strong passion for the career field, and patient care skills. So it's a pretty strong opening. There's a strong thesis. This is what I offer. This is what I bring to the table. And here we get some kind of story. My experience in the dental field is vast, from dental shadowing to assisting to community service trips. I recently went to Costa Rica with the VITA volunteer organization to assist alongside several dentists to serve underprivileged communities. This experience gave me insight into the field of dental assisting in different cultures. With a language barrier, I improved my communication skills, which has helped improve my chairside manner. My dental assisting position for your practice resembles my similar skills, such as recording patient records and treatments, taking impressions and x-rays, and basic office skills. And the rest is formulaic. So what are your thoughts on that one, Wynn? How does that strike you as sort of a narrative for this person?
I think it's good for me. Yeah.
What do you like about it? What do you think?
I think it's straightforward, and she include her experience and skills. Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate that she highlights this one thing that she's done that was obviously very impactful for her. This thing that was obviously very difficult, but that she also got a lot out of. I think in my comments to her, I may have even said, you know, play this up a bit. This is a big deal. She just kind of stops talking about it here and goes into, this is the stuff you're looking for, and that's what I have. So it could be a little stronger even, but it's a good start. It's a good first draft. Another narrative one, maybe? What do you think, Gwen?
Yeah, but can you like give example? How can you make it stronger?
Sure. Maybe some live edits. Recently went to Costa Rica with the VITA volunteer organization to assist alongside several dentists to serve underprivileged communities. This experience gave me insight into the field of dental assisting in different cultures. With the language barrier, I improved my communication skills, which has helped me improve my chairside manner. If I were to make improvements on this, I think I would say something along the lines of, kind of movie again. I don't like that. Just do some red text. We would add something more about like feeling empathy for the people in the chair, because sometimes that can go away. When there's a language barrier, you tend to pay way more attention to other nonverbal cues like facial expressions and gestures. And I'm sure when this is something you can attest to, like language barriers are tough. And, you know, when that is something you're dealing with, you tend to have a little more empathy toward people around you. And you hope that they have that same empathy toward you. So again, I think I would lean into that angle to make it stronger in this instance. Add a sentence or two about this experience really built up my empathy toward my patients. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Another one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's look at another one. Oops, that's my one. Am I still screen sharing?
Yes.
Okay, good. Let's see. Let's look at this one. This isn't necessarily narrative driven, but it does something that might be more up your alley when. So, dear hiring manager, I am writing to apply for the partnership, marketing, and sales associate position. I am a senior at the University of Iowa, graduating in May, double major. I feel excited by the opportunity to apply for a position with the best organization in the MLS. This associate position requires strong writing and editorial skills to communicate and coordinate with potential and current partners. As an editorial intern for the Washington Redskins this past summer, I know I fulfill this requirement. I wrote publications viewed by over 100,000 people with the Redskins, demonstrating my ability to create engaging content. I believe this skill would translate well to NYCFC partners in the daily communication and sale process. This position also requires superior time management and presentation skills to aid in presentations for potential and current clients while creating new sponsorship opportunities. In my positions with Iowa Athletics and the Orange Bowl Committee, I managed events and performed tasks in front of thousands of fans and efficiently presented myself in a way that would lend well to NYCFC partners. I believe I can succeed in New York. So he's got sort of two body paragraphs here. And he does tell kind of a narrative, sort of mini narratives. What he actually does, which I think is equally as strong, is he, as his topic sentences, says, okay, here's what the job requires. Here's how I fit that requirement. And again, in the next paragraph, here's what it requires. Here's how I fit that. And I think that's really strong. I imagine since you're going to be applying for well, like chemical engineering jobs, is that what it's going to be?
I'm applying to quality control labs. Yeah, so kind of.
Okay. That might be a stronger move for you anyway. Like, I know that this quality control position requires this qualification. Here's how I learned that qualification. And here's another qualification for this quality control position. Here's how I fulfill that qualification and could really do well in that job. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think of this move instead of a narrative?
I feel like this one is much stronger because he addressed what he have to the employer.
Yeah. Yeah. This student was just a strong writer anyway. He could have constructed a narrative if he wanted to, but I think this is also very solid. And again, it's another way to approach a cover letter, and while it looks kind of long, I think it works because it's so strong, because he's so detailed about this is what you're looking for. This is why I have it. So, what else? What else is troubling you, Win? What else can I help with?
Yeah, I think I just have difficulties with the second paragraph. Yeah.
Okay, should we look at some more?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Let's look at some ones that don't do it very well. Yeah, this is a good one. Okay. Dear Centene Corporation, I am writing to apply for the Centene Data Analytics Internship. I'm a freshman at the University of Iowa, excited by the prospect of working, etc. I am an undergrad, double majoring in ethics and public policy, as well as English and creative writing. I don't know how that's not a quadruple major, but whatever. Over the past year of my coursework, I have developed a strong skill set in the analysis of policy. I have expanded my skill set in research and policy analysis during my work with the Sunrise Movement, a political and environmental group. Learning to code with SAS has given me an understanding of analytical software and a firm grasp of HTML code. I have developed excellent time management skills over my time in the workforce. I worked at Fairway Grocery for 4 years, 30 hours per week during high school. Additionally, this past year, I have worked at the University Department of Public Safety as a student security officer, which has allowed me to gain experience in the public policy field. Okay, so Win, what is going wrong with this one? Help me out.
I remember you said the first sentence that he say, I'm writing to apply.
Mm-hmm. Well, that first sentence is fine.
Okay.
Yeah. What else do you think?
He didn't really put out a lot of skills. He just list every experience and the company name.
Yeah, that's exactly it. This is one of those that is just the resume in sentence form, just the resume in paragraph form. It's just a list of all the things this person has done. There's no cohesiveness. There's no narrative here. It's just, here's what I've done. So help me out, When if we were to tell this person how to make it better, what advice might we offer? What do you think?
Maybe focus on what the employer looking for the skills. Yeah. And then focus on the company that provide the skills.
Yeah, that's a good start. Yeah, I think that's a really great start. Like, what exactly is Centene looking for? Because based on this cover letter, I get the impression that this person doesn't actually know what Centene is looking for. Like, they haven't done their homework. I think I would delete this paragraph, just flat out delete it. It doesn't seem to have much relevance. And beef up this stuff. They mention some skills here, but again, it's just generalities. It's just a list of skills. If they want it to be memorable, it needs to be some kind of narrative about how they acquired those skills. Learning to work with SAS. I don't know what SAS is, but they could tell some kind of story about how they learned to work with SAS. They could talk about how they expanded their skills in research and policy analysis, whether or not that was a difficult process, or some kind of memorable project they did with Sunrise Movement, that kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Good. Okay. Good. So you're on the right track. They have to first figure out what Centene is looking for. Because if they don't know, then what's the point of telling Centene, this is what I have to offer, you know? All right. More examples? What do you think?
Yeah, I have time. Yeah.
Okay, let's look at more examples. How about, what is this one? Yeah. Okay, dear John Deere employer. I'm applying for the marketing customer product support position. I am junior at the University of Iowa, pursuing a business degree. I'm very motivated and dedicated to make any team better. I am a quick learner and will give my best effort in doing my job. I have previous experience in sales, working with customers, and working with teams. Working with customers is a strength because I have had to present and make meetings with them. With having to be knowledgeable about products in my previous job, that experience shows I can help customers with questions they have about products. You can reach me at redacted. Okay. So I'll break down the first paragraph. There is some kind of thesis here. It's not very strong. Like you pointed out with the previous one, they don't seem to know what John Deere is looking for. This is pretty generic. I'm a quick learner and will give my best effort in doing my job. This seems to be the cover letter they just send out to any old application, which is not great. So Wynn, what do you think of this second paragraph?
I think he should put the name of the company that he worked before.
Yeah, at the very least, right? Yeah.
And specific details about what he did for them.
Yes.
Like all he says was, I did sales at this place.
But what did he sell? We don't know. And who did he sell it to? Again, I have to tell my students over and over and over, get specific. And I have to hammer it into their heads. And this one is nothing but vagueness and generalities. And it's infuriating to me. It would be infuriating for a hiring manager. Like, no hiring manager anywhere would read this and go, yes, this is the candidate we're talking to. No, of course not. So yes, what this needs is details. It needs specifics. It needs specifics about the people they worked for previously, and it needs specifics about what this person thinks John Deere is looking for and how this person offers that. This making sense?
Yep.
Excellent. All right. Good. Let's look at another strong one. 8. Oh, yes. This is a good one. Okay. This is a very strong narrative one. Okay. Oh yeah, of course. Okay. So my name is Redacted. I'm applying to the position of business analyst with BA in English and associate degree in mathematics. I have developed skills that would be a great asset to your company. Here's where the narrative starts. My first project as a construction superintendent demonstrated these skills best. I led the remodel of 61 dormitory rooms in under 3 months at the University of Iowa. I was the center of communication between a wide variety of stakeholders, including subcontractors, project managers, engineers, and suppliers. Working with them, I demonstrated my ability to communicate with people of different backgrounds and priorities and bring them together for a synergistic result. The project required me to think critically, problem solve, negotiate, and demonstrate leadership. I rose to the occasion and the clients were very happy with the result. Though it had a significant time constraint, the project came in on time and under budget. My company strengthened their relationship with the university and all those involved. Since then, I have run 3 other projects with similar successful results. I believe I could bring those results to Officio. So again, this is really strong. This second paragraph is almost nothing but this narrative about this one project that this person did, and how this person gained those skills and used those skills. And then in the cover letter, they bring it home by saying, I can bring those to Officio. That's really strong. I can think analytically, communicate well, and bring people together as a team. So, thoughts on that one, Wynn? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's strong, and I like how he conclude at the last paragraph, what things he can bring to the company.
I agree. Yeah, it's like weirdly exciting. Like, you get to the end of this paragraph and go, wow, 3 more projects like that you can bring in on time and under budget. And then you go, I believe I can bring those results to Officio. Like a project, like a hiring manager would go, yeah, I want to talk to this guy. That sounds great. Yeah, I agree. Okay. More examples? What do you think?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's look at this. Okay, yeah, this is a good one. Really, really good one. Okay. I'm ready to apply for a summer internship program with your forecasting and analytics company. After visiting your website, I have immersed myself in Forecast5's suite of data and analytics products, specifically targeting 5Cast, 5Site, 5Maps, 5Share, and 5Labs, which offer a complete package of fulfilling customers' wants and needs. I am excited to discuss and learn more about Forecast5 and each product. I previously held an engaging and intense internship at Northwestern Mutual, requiring me to pass 4 state-regulated exams. I was licensed to sell life insurance and disability insurance products, while also learning the ins and outs of long-term comprisable planning. I learned how to cold call, warm call, and present on my own in front of clients, as well as shadowing and teaming up with full-time agents in the firm. I routinely communicated with my boss and clients in a timely manner due to the high volume of client meetings and daily reporting to my mentor. I participated in up to 2 meetings per week, even presenting in front of the whole firm at a conference. I received a company award for most referrals and was one of the top-selling interns. My sales experience and interpersonal skills will be a strong asset given the opportunity to work for you. Please let me know if you have any questions. Okay. I'm just tell you what I think about this one. When I think this starts super strong. This first paragraph is really great. This shows that this person has really done their homework about this company, using words like immersed myself in Forecast5's suite of data. That's really telling. And I'm excited to discuss and learn more about Forecast 5 in each product. That's really cool that they would do that. But then the second paragraph is almost entirely just resume stuff. There's not a narrative here. Everything is just kind of a list of the stuff he's done. There's basically nothing here in the second paragraph that would not appear on the resume. And I wasn't even sure how to help this person make it better. Like, can you help me out, Win? Like, how do we give this a narrative? How do we give this paragraph a story? What do you think?
I have a question first.
Mhm.
If it's something that would appear on your resume, should it not be on your cover letter at all?
That is a really good question. The two are not mutually exclusive. If there's something on your resume that you are really proud of course, put it on your cover letter. Just because it appears on your resume does not mean it cannot go on your cover letter. What you should not do is precisely what this person has done, which is list all the things in paragraph form. That's what you shouldn't do. That's what nearly everyone does on their cover letters, because it's the easy thing to do. The hard thing, the really memorable thing, is to construct some kind of narrative. Which again, I'm not even sure how to do. What do you think, Gwen?
I think so. From the first paragraph, I just read the second paragraph, and I think the skills and experience is not really related to the company.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like what goes on here doesn't seem to have much to do with what goes on here. I hadn't really even thought about that, but you're absolutely right. Fulfilling customers' wants and needs. Maybe what he should have done then, instead of just talking about like cold calls and meetings, was maybe played up this bit, presenting in front of the whole firm. Make a narrative out of that one instance, and maybe the reward or the award. That can be a little more memorable. Because again, these are both things that can and should go on a resume, but in a cover letter, you can make a story out of them. You can make a memorable narrative. You can expand them. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, again, I have many examples. You want to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, for about 10 more minutes, we can go. Oh, here's another good narrative-driven one. All right, dear whom it may concern. That's a weird salutation. My name is Redacted, and I'm applying for the intern inside sales position in Muscatine, Iowa. I'm currently a sophomore, political science major. I believe my experience working as a senior customer service associate for Men's Warehouse has given me knowledge of customer buying experiences that I can bring into your inside sales team to help increase sales and profitability. Very strong thesis. I like that. In 4 years of being with Men's Warehouse, I have developed my interpersonal skills by helping train employees and participating in a training program at our location in Omaha. I have become comfortable speaking with potential customers and assisting them with purchasing formal wear clothing. When I first started, the lack of knowledge throughout the formal wear department was a clear problem. Over the following months, we reshaped our staff, and through training and hard work, we finally lowered our reorder rates to below 10%, which was our end goal. When I first started at Men's Warehouse, our reorder rates were a lot higher. Since high turnover was a consistent problem, we as a team had to keep steady and make sure everyone was doing their job. Yeah, the rest is fairly standard. I'm familiar with the guidelines of the position, and I believe my critical thinking and communication skills will be an advantage for me in inside sales. I look forward to the opportunity to learn as much as I can. He kind of gets into what he thinks All Steel is looking for, but again, it's not very specific. It's really generic and general. It seems to me he needs to do a little more research into what they're looking for and put that into his cover letter. But this I think is really strong, where he talks about how when he got to the store, it was in a little bit of shambles. And he worked his butt off and he shaped it up. Things were not great, but we worked hard. We finally lowered our reorder rates to below 10%, which was our end goal. And we also took care of our high turnover rate, he says, which is, again, a really great thing to tout on a cover letter. So, solid narrative going on here. What do you think, Wynn?
Yeah, I also like the third paragraph. Like he gave the problem and he gave how he solved it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It could be stronger without language like a lot higher. Again, I would have to tell him, get specific, get specific, get specific. Our reorder rate was 37% or whatever. And again, I think I might even encourage him to say what the high turnover was at the beginning and what it was at the end, just to show the exact improvement and what his role was in that. So good. Okay. Is this the one? Oh my gosh, this is the one. I'm excited to show you this one. Okay. This is another narrative-driven one. I'm not going to say too much about it. I want your thoughts. Okay. I'm ready to apply for the automotive lot assistant position posted on the Mercedes-Benz Westminster LinkedIn profile. I'm excited to apply for one of the world's most recognized and accomplished automotive brands. I have a lot of experience using quick thinking while keeping important details in mind. I maintain focus throughout my time at work and love to stay busy. Teamwork is very important to me. While employed at Your Pie, I demonstrated many of my skills. On March 14th, Pi Day, my communication, quick thinking, detail-oriented, focus, achiever, and consistency skills were put to the test. We had a line out the door for 8 hours straight. I had to make dough as fast as I could, had to keep detail in mind while putting toppings on pizzas, cooking the pizzas, and cutting/boxing the pizzas. I also convinced many customers to add chips and a drink to their order while working at the register. As people continued to flood the restaurant, I took the initiative and washed dishes in the back while my coworkers worked hard to cut down the amount of people in the line. This experience has helped me grow accustomed to working in fast-paced environments while keeping important details in mind. And this paragraph is like hardly relevant at all. So when, again, I'm not going to say much about this one. What are your thoughts on that chunky paragraph right there?
I think the person gave a lot of too much narrative.
That is precisely what I think. Too much. I think it's the first time I've ever had to tell someone it was too much detail. But yes, it was too specific, too much detail. The narrative was a little too focused. If they want it to be more effective, they would have to sort of zoom out a little bit and not talk about the nitty-gritty of like cutting and boxing pizzas and rushing to put on the toppings and like people out the door. It's too much. What someone who reads that remembers is not necessarily how well the person did in that scenario, so much as like how overwhelming that experience might have been, which is not good. So good. I'm really glad you picked up on that. Too much detail. Last one, yeah. Let's make it a good one. Wynn, what do you think of looking at one of mine and tearing it apart?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. I want you to tell me everything that's wrong with it, okay?
Okay.
Now that you're pretty much an expert. Okay. To whom it may concern. I am writing to apply for a proofreading and editing position with Proofreading Pal LLC. For the last 2 years, I have worked with the University of Iowa Writing Center, where I have logged over 200 hours of proofreading and editing experience. This has sharply honed my skills and strategies for improving many kinds of writing, academic and otherwise. In the Writing Center, I have worked with first-year undergraduates, ESL students from China, India, Namibia, Japan, first-generation students of color who had never experienced a college environment, and even students with learning disabilities, e.g. dyslexia. I know how to tailor my approach to each individual paper or assignment, how to quickly spot the needs, knowledge deficits, and misunderstandings a student has, and how to remedy them. Finally, I have spent the last 3 years as a graduate instructor of literature and writing classes. I have unique insights into what many instructors are looking for when they hand down writing assignments. I am excited at the prospect of sharing that knowledge as a member of Proofreading Pal. I find great satisfaction in helping students improve not only their written assignments, but their writing habits. I look forward to hearing from you to further discuss my qualifications. Thank you for your time. Okay. So I find flaws with this. What do you think, Wynn?
I don't know yet. So,
Can I tell you one?
okay, yeah.
This is a stupid sentence. This is, yeah, Alexis agrees, right? It's a terrible, terrible sentence. I think I was trying to show off, just like stacking clauses with semicolons because just a thing that English can do. It doesn't really work. It's way too long and complicated, and it's not good. What else do you think, Wynn?
I don't know, because it's yours, so I feel straight.
Okay. Alexis, what do you think?
I think when you talk about being a graduate instructor, you need to go into a little more details. You talk about unique insights that you bring, but what are they?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. That's really vague and generalized. That's not very specific, is it? Unique insights. That is a phrase that could use some elaboration. Absolutely. Yep. You're absolutely right. I would say this is not a great thesis. That could be stronger. I also don't include my contact info in this final paragraph, which is very stupid.
Well, no wonder you didn't get that job.
Well, they did ask me for an interview, but it turned out they were just like super shady and janky. Anyway, we have maybe a couple more minutes. What are some final questions or concerns I might answer?
Do I have to include the company information at the beginning? Or
Yes.
just, okay.
Yes, that goes right at the top, like so. That is your header. Today's date, the company name, and their address.
Okay.
Alexis asks why. And I suppose the answer for that is because that's what they're expecting. It's probably one of those just basic competency things. Like if you can't even be bothered to look up their address, then yeah, they probably shouldn't be talking to you. Yeah. What else?
Yeah, I think that's all. I've been missing that in my cover letter. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Okay. Well, this was very fun. I'm very glad you could come, Wynn. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for spending time to do this. It's
course.
really
Yes.
Before we go, I wanted to show you and anybody who watches this later, at my library, we have a couple of resources. Where is it? No, that's not email. Can you see my screen? But you can't see it? It said I did, and I didn't. Okay, now can you? Okay, so on the Solon Public Library website, solon.lib.ia.us, if you go to the online resources, there are a couple of things there specifically for job searching over here at BrainFuse. If you go to BrainFuse, it is a job search site that not only helps you find different kinds of jobs, but it has a resume lab where you can send your resume to people and they will edit it for you. Also with live interview coaching. So if you want to do a practice interview, they'll set that up with you. There's just so many different things, interview tips, job references, all kinds of interesting and fun things. And if you set up your own account over here, they can help you with all those things. Obviously, you can contact Tani to do most of that too, but if you are more comfortable with doing it with a stranger that you don't know, then that is available, and I just wanted you to know that it's there. So, yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you for coming again. You're welcome. And I'm going to stop the recording.